Three friends, one amazing series of YA novels, an insatiable thirst to relive the glory that is K.A. Applegate's literary masterpiece. This is Fanimail, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles.
Hello, and welcome to the Dork-Bajir Chronicles, a podcast where we read through the Animorphs series one book at a time, then talk about it every week. Today, we'll be talking about Animorphs number 38, The Arrival. My name is Mikhail, the host.
I'm Tessa, the expert.
And I'm Braden, and my ankles are stuck in this chair that I'm sitting in. I cannot move them, and there's like the thing, there's a wire down there, and I think I'm sleeping here tonight, guys. Fuck.
My plan worked.
Braden, are you gonna be okay? Should we send an elite team of gorilla scientists to save you from this chair?
As long as there are no females on the team.
Yes.
Because I got a real problem with females in the military.
No, man. With females fighting, man, the Andalites will win for sure.
That would have been a great segue before into the summary if we didn't first have to do...
Fanimail! Ooh, yeah! Fanimail! Ooh, yeah! Today we got @Kieran_Andrews on Twitter. Super fan. We love him. He loves us, as evidenced by this meme he created. If I ever have a kid, and there's a picture of a pregnant woman with headphones stuck to her, and he's playing our podcast into that poor embryo's cells. Because it doesn't have ears yet, probably. It's a small pregnancy
Yeah, but specifically,
belly.
it was a TV series episode, so Jared's sultry tones might actually do the kid some good.
The rest of our content, please don't do that. I think that's child abuse.
Hello, police. Yes. I have evidence of someone playing a baby, a swear words podcast. Yes, I can hold.
Okay. What's next up on the plate there?
We got another Twitter from Bug Rider @Potato Toesies on Twitter. Listening to us talk about what do you think Visser Three's human morph looks like. Bug Rider says Vladimir Putin. Quotes, I think Vin Diesel. It kind of looks like Vladimir Putin. So I think of like the ninth Doctor, but like evil. So Vladimir Putin. So they're just one of those times where you're just screaming at the podcast in your ears and nobody can hear you and you're so frustrated.
I did not understand what was being said there until you just said that, and now I feel like an idiot. Okay.
Sorry, I also explained it very poorly, but...
No, I was staring at the tweet, and I did not understand it until you basically had to read a joke to me. Anyways.
Mikhail! You can tell Mikhail is the grown-up of the podcast.
I'm not ashamed. Okay, so I think we're ready to move on to the summary. Thanks for the fan mail. Links, as always, are in the show notes for this episode. And it is Tessa's turn to do the summary.
Woo! So this was like, there was a lot in this book, y'all.
It is a dense tome, as the kids are saying.
Which, as Braden so astutely figured out in his predictions last week, that new Andalites arrive on Earth. Mm-hmm. So it starts out, the Animorphs see a front page newspaper article about the sharing in San Fran, which I think is the first listing of an actual city ever in the book, right?
Right?
Except for Visser. This is the first time in any of the Animorphs books, I'm pretty sure. In the actual Animorphs canon, this series was supposed to have existed anywhere. Now for sure, we know it is in the US. They also attempt to break into the office of the major local newspaper in San Francisco to determine how deeply infiltrated it is by the Yeerks. And they see Mr. King, the Eric King's fake dad, because he's an android. And he is captured and about to be destroyed. And the group busts out of their hiding places to rescue him. But, oh no, it's a trap, and Visser Three is there. He just cuts shit up in his Andalite form, and then a bunch of new Andalites appear out of the elevator, just like shooting bitches.
Just out of the elevator, like they're showing up to a party late.
Just like, yo, we got Starbucks, sorry we're late, pew pew pew. It was a very Galaxy Quest moment where it was like serious but also very goofy that they were just know how to use an elevator. Like, don't Andalite elevators, you just use your thought speak? How long were they in the elevator before one of them thought to push a button? That's what I want to know.
As long as this awkward pause is taking.
How long do you think they were trying to thought speak to the elevator?
I think a solid 2 minutes.
Computer, rise.
It's like in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie, the very first one, where he's going, go up, go, and he's trying all the different hand motions.
Do you think also that, like, because you can talk, if Andalites can talk to computers, or at least the computers that are receptive to it, wouldn't you just be, like, broadcasting at all times to every, like, small animal, like, I know you're in morph? Just on the off chance that one of them acts weirdly and it actually is, like, a spy in morph?
I mean, y'all, when I see a group of birds, I do tell them, yo, hey, Jake, Marco, Cassie, all the guys, I know.
They said that's not their real names, so good luck with that.
We've established that you can thought speak to also normies when you're in an animal morph.
Yeah.
But if you just thought spoke to like random rabbits, like, I know who you are, they would just run away anyway.
I think the idea is, like, you thought speak to them. I mean, I'm not saying that, like, a spy wouldn't know what to do in a situation like that, but you might catch them off guard or, like, fall out of a tree or something like that. I don't know.
It's like how sometimes you try to guess what your friends are thinking. I think there's an XKCD comic about it. Just on the off chance, like, just pick a number between 1 and 100, and then you pick exactly what they're thinking and play it off like you're a psychic. I think that's kind of what Michaela's getting at here. Like, you just say it to anyone, and then the one time you say it to an Andalite bandit in morph, oh my god, they're going to be so freaked out that you found them out and they weren't doing anything weird.
I don't do that to my friends. What?
We have different kinds of friendships. It takes some time.
I guess so.
Anyway, speaking of friends, there's a whole bunch of new Andalites here, and Axe gets immediately boner-fied to see his fellow Andalites. He's afraid to leave them without knowing how to contact them, but then this hot lady Andalite, who's just his age, and who fought next to him, it was crazy. She was like a woman, and she fought, and Axe was impressed? What the fuck? Her name is Estrid Coral Dorath. Sexy. And she says, don't worry, Aximili, we know who you are. We will contact you. And he's just like, whoa, this is awesome. And the rest of the Andalites are like, the rest of the Animorphs are like, wait, who the fuck are these guys?
Is it? I feel like it's like he hasn't had a boner since that one time when he forgot to pay attention about Sario rips in class. It's like, whoa, wait, shit, I've been going through puberty for the past year, and I had no idea that, like, the first female he sees is like, this woman could be abusive as hell, and it doesn't matter, because he'd be super into her.
Well, I mean, if you think any woman is hot, you don't immediately think, hold up, let's hold off on that boner till I know if she calls me a cuck or not.
What if Andalite puberty only really gets activated when they're around people that they think are attractive? So, like, this whole time on Earth, Axe is just like, what is a boner? I don't know. And then he sees Esther and just like, 10 years of boners happening all at once! Ah! Rough stuff. So, the rest of the Animorphs are just like, yo, hold up. Axe, I think you're not thinking clearly. You're clearly smitten with this Andalite lady, and also the fact that other Andalites are here. Rachel asks him point blank, because as we know from the last book, she's nice and blunt like that. She says, where do your loyalties even lie? Also, they remember what happened in book 18, where Axe just completely sold them out to the other Andalite crew. I don't think it's ever really mentioned explicitly in this book. I can't remember, but like, that happened last time Axe met other Andalites, is he totally sold them out.
Well, he didn't sell them out. He just, like, said, hang out here for a bit.
He said hang out here in this prison cell.
It was a hospital room. What?
They were locked in it, like a prison cell.
You get locked into hospitals, too. You can't just leave a hospital on your own.
I don't get locked in a hospital.
You definitely can just leave a hospital, Brayden. I hate to break this to you.
What?
The only reason they haven't been letting you out is because you are a threat to the public.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Real talk though, you actually can you can walk out the day after a surgery, like a major surgery. I don't think they can stop you. They can be like, it is in your best interest and it is our lawful duty to tell you to not leave. But if you walk out, I don't think they can actually stop you.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen from all the dramatic movies, yeah, you can just rip those nodules right off your body and storm out of there to go save your son.
Well, shit, you're watching dramatic movies? That's dope.
Pull that catheter right out of your dickens.
Keep the catheter for later, baby. We'll have a little
Right?
fun.
Just sleep and pee at the same time? This is the dream.
Get someone else to pull it out, if you know what I mean.
Anyway, so Rachel's like, yo, dog, where's your loyalties? And Axe says, I'm mad, and he runs out of the barn. But first, he makes sure he tells Prince Jake that, no, I'll follow your command. But he runs really fast and really hard until his anger cools, at which point he realizes he's deeply infatuated with Estrid. Tobias and Axe go to the food court where they discover Estrid in human morph making a complete fool of herself, and Axe gets to school her and be like, that is not human decorum. This is how we
Women.
act.
Yeah.
Women and their beans.
They set up a meeting with the big head honcho Andalites. These new guys are offended that Axe disobeyed their orders by bringing Jake to the meeting. And
I just thought of something.
Oh, what?
Oh.
Bean is another word for clitoris.
Oh my god. And cinnamon buns are like the prostate.
This is Andalite puberty.
Done. Easy.
So the big boss is offended that Axe brought Jake to this meeting, and then he's more offended that Jake is talking to him like an actual equal superior.
I mean, Jake is 15. I mean, he should be, honestly.
Well, and also Jake has so much in combat experience that he might even have more actual in combat experience than this guy he's talking to.
Yeah.
I don't know. This guy, we find out later, he's got some experience.
And also, Axe has a thought, I'm pretty sure it's at this moment, Axe has a thought that, Estrid is kind of talking back to the guy in charge way more than he would have gotten away with. Axe remembers when he was an Arist and is just like, yo, you do not say that to your commanding officer, you're gonna get smacked upside the head, what are you doing? And, nothing happens, it just, is fine. But he's like, it's okay, Estrid's just really pretty. Anyway, so this whole meeting turns into a huge bust because the Andalite leader and Jake just keep butting heads and arguing. And then, whoop-de-doo, the small group of Andalites with the out-of-date ship reveal that they're actually the only Andalites in the area. They're not a starter fleet for a much bigger help of Andalites' power. They're just on their own. They've been sent to Earth on a mission to assassinate Visser Three. What? Super dope! And then Axe fights competitively with Estrid and gets really turned on and still confused by her lack of military decorum.
Nothing's sexier than a stupid woman.
But she's very good at fighting, which Axe is so impressed.
That's what they call a warrior bimbo.
Oh my god.
In the circles that I jerk off in.
A wimbo, eh?
A Damazon. No, that's bad. I'm sorry.
I love it. No, that's what I'm gonna call it the next time I jerk off on 4chan. Hey guys, my best friend Mikhail, who I make this podcast with, came up with the best name for what we jerk off to. We're gonna be 4chan famous, guys.
Oh god, no.
Just not
That's
saying
my worst
much.
nightmare. So, the Animorphs are super sad that this is not the triumphant return of the Andalites that they hoped. And they have this huge dramatic fight at Cassie's barn, and each member leaves for reasons typical of their character, with Jake finally releasing Axe to go home, if he can. And Axe, once all the humans are gone, calls out to Estrid because she's in rabbit morph the whole time. But little do we know, she is poorly concealed. And he's like, you know what, babe? I'm going to teach you about Earth. Come join me on this magic carpet ride. And she takes him back to the Andalite ship. So, the other members of this Andalite ship. We got the Commander Gonrad, which is a great name. This intelligence advisor called Arbat. And then the assassin himself, Aloth. Axe is shown around the ship by Aloth, who reveals that he was originally in prison for selling organs off a battlefield.
Which is clever. Gotta give it to him.
And also pretty dark.
Gotta hand it to those Somali pirates.
Also very clever. I mean, like, hey, you wouldn't want it to go to waste, am I right?
What are you gonna do, bury this liver?
Aloth is extremely cynical about this whole group, and he reveals that Gonrad, who is an excellent pilot, but he got locked up because he was a coward during battle.
That's sort of like pretty wild.
That's very wild.
Do they describe what that means? Does that mean like he tried to run away with a ship full of Andalites? Or does it just mean like he got scared on the front line?
Maybe he peed in front of one of the Vissers.
They say it as if it's like if I say it sounds like they're not saying it as like a specific thing that happened. They're saying it as like a charge, like insubordination, or saying like, oh, he went MIA. It has no context.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm assuming it could be one of many things. It's left to our interpretation from what we know about Andalite culture so far. Do we believe that they would like court-martial him or kick him out for turning tail and running with a whole bunch of Andalites? Or do we believe that it would even take something as little as simply saying, gosh, I'm scared?
I feel like it's like the jaywalking thing where it's like they wouldn't actually charge you unless it caused some kind of larger problem.
Oh, yeah. So I feel like kidnapping a whole ship full of Andalites has got to be one of the, like, that's got to be kind of it. Like, he was the pilot, freaked out, and just took off. It makes sense that he's an excellent pilot, so he would probably be piloting the ship.
Personally, I feel there is room for interpretation there, that someone could also argue, no, he probably just wrote in his diary, boy, I'm scared, or something way more personal like that, and Andalite culture is just so fucked up and, like, war-minded that even that small slight completely 1984'd him.
Yeah, he's like he's at the fucking mess hall and he's just talking to his buddy like, Texans like freak me out. They're so ugly.
And they're just like immediately swamped and like thrown in cuffs. But like, I think that is true. I like the idea that there's ambiguity because, I mean, the Andalites are kind of war horny that we've seen.
Yeah.
But this is recent. Axe has said in the previous books that Andalites did not used to fight each other. Or if they did, it was way in the past when they were like herd animals. So everybody's got a secret thing. Arbat's secret thing is that he has the Andalite war cancel wrapped around his little seventh finger. He's also the brother to Alaran Semetercoras, or Aloran Semetercoras, as I would pronounce it, which is, as we know, the host body of Visser Three. Also, everybody is being really cagey.
I feel like that was supposed to be a bigger reveal than it actually felt like.
Yeah, it kind of was like, okay.
because like his character does a lot of stuff later, and I feel like none of it is informed by being other than, well, maybe we'll talk about it when it happens.
There's also like a bunch of ambiguity as to who the real leader of this expedition is.
Mm-hmm.
Axe is just filing all this information away, just like, okay, strange, super weird.
Which is actually a classic technique used, I believe, most prominently during Vietnam and World War II, to prevent like snipers from assassinating people who were obviously like command officials. Like a lot of World War II, through a lot of World War II and Vietnam, salutes were never given. Badges and similar like heraldry weren't worn.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Very last weird thing that Axe notes is their ship, the Raylick River, is an old laboratory ship whose lab level has been sealed off to conceal energy. Anyway, Estrid is just like, I'm going to go to the gardens. Axe, take me on a tour. And Axe is like, this is not how you act as an Aris. What are you doing? But anyway, they fly to the gardens and have a cute little date night, and we get to see Estrid just turn into a ball and then bamf into human morph with clothes on, which is not how morphing technology works. I don't understand why she can do this.
I guess it is now.
I guess they just changed it on us.
She said her mom was a morph dancer.
Yeah, okay, sure. Okay, did you think harder or something? And that's how you can morph clothes? Are the kids just not thinking hard enough, and that's why none of them have worn socks in 2 years?
Tessa, there have been questions about things like the Flawless Maneuver. Why are they not doing that all the time?
You're right. Okay, so maybe this is like a really obvious thing that Axe just wasn't paying attention to in Morph class, and like it's super easy and all of them could do it. He just forgot.
Well, maybe it's a recent development that happened while he was here on Earth.
That's possible too, actually.
Yeah, that's true. They just discovered out how you do it. Like if you chug Red Bull right before you morph, then you can just morph a ball.
And don't forget also, Axe has not been... It's not like he came straight from Andalite homeworld to Earth. He was probably in space for a while, right?
Yeah.
So, the two kids eat some chocolate. Axe performs a little bit of mayhem, kicking down vending machines. Then they make out for a little bit and fly back to the ship. And Axe is like, yeah, I could run away with you. Yeah. Which is like your first girlfriend where like, you're just like, yeah, I could like... This is the first time I've fallen in love. I would marry you. And looking back, you're just like, oh, thank God I did not marry that person.
Yeah.
Do you think she could morph out of the clothes?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just take them off, I guess. It wouldn't be that hard, but yeah.
Human clothes are pretty easy to take off. Unless she just, like, accidentally is morphing Victorian dress.
She morphed a Burger King smock backwards on purpose.
She morphed the clothes, but they're just draped on top of her body instead of like her body being inside them. They're just like a blanket on top.
Yeah, they're like chained together. They're tied together like a prison, like escape blanket, and just worn as a belt.
Axe later suddenly realizes that Estrid had made a joking reference to Plint-Conarrhythmic equations, which are employed in an incredibly complex bioengineering field. And he's like, haha, well, that's probably just a figure of speech. Let's not look into that too much. So, the next day, let's kill Visser Three. Estrid stays on the ship. The rest of the Andalites infiltrate the community center and make it all the way into what this post is called the Inner Sanctum, which just sounds dirty. Maybe I've read too many romance novels. Maybe I've read too many cultist romance novels. All right, so they make it all the way to the inner... They all make it all the way into Visser Three's Inner Sanctum, if you know what I mean. Aloth has implied that Arbat might not give the order to kill his brother's body because Owen's your brother, and so Arbat's like, fuck you, Aloth, I'm gonna have the first shot just to prove you wrong, and then he misses an easy shot. Like, okay, dude. And then Axe fails to kill the Visser out of morality-induced hesitation, like, okay. Again. But also...
He literally begged for death!
Axe has come up against killing Visser 3 so many times. There was book 8. There was book 18 where Visser 3 broke all his legs in the dumpster. There's book 38. Like, there's so many times that it could have just been over.
Well, the dumpster one is pretty fair. Like, you didn't hesitate.
The dumpster one is fair. Okay. But, like, there still could have been a chance. And then Axe has so much angst about not killing it. And it's just like, bud, maybe you're just only good at using the side of your tail blade and also arm wrestling. Like, it's okay. Let Rachel do the killing if you're uncomfortable with it.
Did we skip over the part where he just, like, straight up fights Estrid for no reason? Remember that at the beginning?
That was earlier. They were doing, like, a training. It was like a sparring for fun, right?
That was sexy.
Yeah, but it's like you just, like, can you imagine, like, you just meet someone like, oh, yeah, I was in the military, too. You just fucking chokehold them and put them on the ground like, you were in the military, you don't understand what I'm doing right now? It's like, no, what are you doing? Stop.
It's like they're in the military and you just punch them in the nuts and you're just like, ha, fuck you, military.
I 100% believe that K.A. Applegate is, I'm going to take to Twitter right now and ask, like, hey, was, like, tail blade martial arts and, like, the sparring at all inspired by, like martial arts, like, Hong Kong wuxia movies? Because, like, that's a thing in, like, wuxia movies. Like, oh, I am a master of Wu-Tang sword style. Ah, I practice Shaolin shadow boxing. Well, want to spar? And they just do, just right there in the middle of the bar or whatever. That's like a trope, which I thought was really cool. I really enjoyed it.
I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that this is a totally normal thing. I felt like it was like wildly inappropriate for the amount of tension that was between them.
They're battling Visser Three, and Axe fails to kill the Visser. So it's a big battle. Aloth is injured when he breaks concentration for a moment to look for Gonrod, who has, as you guessed it, pieced out because he's got cowardice. Arbat just kills Aloth, being like, oh no, he was too injured to save. And Axe is like, that was totally not true. What the fuck is going on?
That's a pretty wild thing to say, too. Like, too injured to save, won't try. Like, that's not your call, dog.
Do Andalites have memory dumps that they have to do in court just like the Yeerks do? Probably, because the Yeerks got most of their technology from Andalites.
Tessa, stop trying to push your memory dump propaganda and creed on people.
Like, anyway, Axe gets Mr. King to help him hack into the ship's computers and gain access to the high security files concealed by Arbat. All of the members of the Andalite team are officially listed as dead in combat, and Estrid is not on the record at all in the military. What the fuck? The ship was listed as destroyed in the same battle. Like, this is so... I'm just picturing this in, like, a sci-fi situation movie. Maybe in, like, Love, Death, and Robots kind of a thing. And just this twist reveal would be so intense! I mean, it's kind of intense in the book, too, but I've read this book so many times that, you know, it's kind of lost its feel. And also, there was so many heavy foreshadowing. Yeah, the books are written for kids. I get it. You want the kids to pick up on the foreshadowing, but it's...
Yeah.
Axe realizes that this ship is on a suicide mission and that Arbat has something planned that the War Council does not know about. Axe hears something on the supposedly empty lab level, and he confronts Estrid and forces her to talk by threatening to open up this random vial of thing that he had found, and she's terrified of that. And so she tells him everything. She was never in the military. She learned a tail fight from her brother, who had mad skills. She was a young genius and was discovered by Arbat at the university after sexism won, and nobody paid attention to her because she was a girl. She took up this plintoconrhythmic physics under his guidance, and she's created basically Q-Virus Part 2. That's in the vial that Axe is holding. It's gonna destroy Yeerks, and very possibly wipe out all humans as well.
Nothing like a girl who's smarter than me and could choke me out.
Arbat and Aloran are definitely brothers. Speaking of Arbat, he finds them and he traps them. And Axe explains to Estrid that their mission does not officially exist and is not sanctioned by Andalite society like she was led to believe. Arbat takes the vial of disease and leaves them. Estrid apologizes, and boop, the Animorphs are revealed to be on board.
Classic!
They were fake out. What?
This reminded me of like the fake out that they did in front of David to convince him that they were splitting up.
Or the literally exact same thing that happens in number 18, where they don't tell him that they're in the bridge of the ship.
Also that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably what inspired it.
Well, I mean, okay, so I have thoughts about that too, because it's like, it seems sort of like a dick move, but also it worked perfectly before, so why wouldn't you just do the exact same thing you did the first time the situation came up, right?
But y'all, I don't remember, doesn't Axe know that this is a fake out this time?
Yeah.
I got the sense that he did, because he comments on Astrid's, like, bunny morph when she demorphs, right?
He was the one who noticed it, so my mental picture is he noticed the rabbit following him. When they got to the barn, he private thought spoke to the other Animorphs and not Estrid. Hey, Estrid's following me.
Off camera.
Pretend we're breaking up. And then Rachel was like, okay, Marco, slap me.
Okay. See, I didn't understand. Okay, I understood everything that happened in the barn was like a fake out, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I thought Axe was not in on it, and he was letting Estrid listen to, like, sort of let her see that the humans were okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, they weren't...
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense, too.
if he was in on the fake out, why would he talk to her at all? Why wouldn't he just let her go back? Because talking to her is like, oh, now she knows that he knows she was there the whole time.
He wants to get integrated into be with the Andalites.
Yeah, they wanted a guy on the inside.
I feel like that is assuming a lot about Axe's ability to be a spy of any kind.
To be a spy. Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like we've gotten a bad impression of Axe's ability to stay cool because he's literally an alien on a distant planet. But like with other Andalites, he can just be like, "Sup, dog? You want to talk about neuroconvolutional beta physics and engines and obeying your prince and shit?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, duh. We're not allowed to talk about anything else."
I feel like also like that's like saying somebody who just finished boot camp could be an undercover FBI agent. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like they're not equivalent.
They could be if they were literally sent back to their hometown.
I think as soon as you know that you're acting, it's like everything you do is overthought. Do you know what I mean? When you're not a good actor. It's like, you know, when people are like, oh, just talk like you normally talk, or just hold your hands like you normally hold your hands. Immediately you freeze up and you're just like, what do I normally do? I have no idea. Whereas a spy would be self-aware.
There's a difference between being aware that you're acting and being aware that you're lying. Like that mental block when people say act like this or just tell a lie is subtle but very real. I was actually really bad at telling lies when I was a kid. Because I would just think of it as like, just act cool. These are the ways you act normal when you do these things. But then the best times I ever lied was when like my dad would like knock on my door, like, "Hey, got a second to talk?" "Yeah, what's up, Dad?" "You been looking at porn on the computer?" And I just had to like there and then just, "No, what? Why are you asking? Something up?" You know, sometimes
I hope it was more convincing than that because that's awful.
That was really bad. Why?
Some sort of problem,
up?
Father?
Why do you think he was asking, Brayden?
Is porn a sort of comic book?
Porn? Do you mean like peas and corn together?
Okay, listen. It's mostly about facial features. It's mostly about, like, body. You know what I mean, though.
Of course Brayden would say it's all about body language.
All you have to do is keep your hands very far away from your dick and keep, like, your genitals, like, shrunk up into your knees, and it looks like you've never even thought about your penis.
Yeah, and everyone will be looking at those two things all the time, so it's important to get that right. I do agree with you, Brayden, though, like, when people are like, act like yourself, as opposed to just
don't tell the truth.
Yeah, just like, lie to me by telling me this story that's not true. Yeah, more realistic. I mean, it doesn't actually matter for the plot of this book, but I just think it's interesting depending on how you interpret it, because a lot of different scenes mean different things. Actually, no, we're not done the plot yet, but I thought it was so good. I love these books that are like, it's not, what's the word? Omniscient?
Yeah, where like the character is hiding something from you, the reader.
Yeah,
you don't see everything. Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah.
Dramatic irony.
Exactly.
No, wait, no.
It's the opposite of dramatic irony.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know what that is called.
Comedic irony.
Anyway. I think it's Animorphs irony.
K.A. Applegate literally invented irony.
I think it's Iron Man. So we've exhausted this. Let's move on. Yeah.
So the Animorphs free Axe and Estrid, and the group of 7 finds evidence of Arbot and follows him to the Yerk pool in human form, except for Tobias, who stays as a hawk. Axe spots Arbot pretending to be a human because Arbot keeps looking around because he's not used to having only 2 eyes, and Axe is like, "Haha, I have made that mistake. That one there, he's the alien."
And I felt it was really cool because they established that earlier, that the first rule of being an heiress is you always have 2 eyes ahead, 2 eyes scanning.
That was very cool.
Yeah, that was like just a good callback moment. This was a good book. Axe promotes chaos by yelling that the Dork-Bajir are Andalite bandits in disguise. And the Animorphs begin to attack Axe and Estrid move to a hidden spot to demorph, and Estrid is like, yo, dog, what the fuck? I don't even care about humans. Let's get out of here. And Axe says the coldest line. He says, you're beautiful and brilliant, but I don't think I like you very much. And he goes to save his friends because friendship is more important than getting your dick wet.
Yeet! Stoicism, baby! Ba-ba!
Then, during the battle, a bunch of human hosts that are Yeerk-free link together to make a living shield, which makes the Yeerks stop fighting so much because they don't want to kill all these human hosts they have.
Which is weird, because that wasn't a problem they had in book 1.
Yeah, no, I think this is something they added to canon, or maybe this is something that we can say the Yeerks figured out as they continue doing the invasion.
Yeah, true.
Being like, all of these bodies suddenly disappear, people are going to wonder, what's up? Is there a serial killer?
Although, we also established it's pretty easy for them to put them back together, because in the first book, Tom was literally, like, slashed into pieces by a dragon, and then fine by the end of the night. So, I
don't even think he was slashed. I think he just got scratched on the chest, like anime style.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I don't think he was cut into confetti. I think he just got, like, hurt. But we do know the Yeerks have crazy healing technologies. I mean, example A, Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
So, Arbat has the vial of Q2 virus. Axe cannot reach him in time. The vial is about to be dropped into the Yeerk pool when Estrid vaporizes it using a Draken beam, and she also totally vaporizes Arbat's hand. And then at that moment, coward Gonrod burns a hole through the roof and rescues the Animorphs with the Andalite ship, and Axe leaves Arbat to die at the hands of the Taxons. I wonder if Visser Three reviewed the tapes of this massacre that happened while he was gone and recognized his brother.
Probably.
Yeah, the brother thing is sort of totally pointless.
It totally just kind of like an Easter egg.
They say that they're brothers. I mean, it's another Disney death. Like, he left him to the Taxons. He threw him off the cliff. But it's still 100% possible, like, in 5 books, he's just gonna, like, pop out of another elevator and be like, oh yeah, also, Visser 3 would totally just, like, kill all those Taxons and just be like, motherfuckers, nobody touch the Andalite host.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this could totally be a Disney death, where he's just going to come back in 8 books.
Speaking of Disney, I thought a lot more of this book was going to come to, like, family stuff. Like, the Estrid being the niece of, what was his name? Abtor? What was it? The intelligence guy?
Bleat?
Abat?
Althor?
No, that was the warrior. The intelligence guy was Abat, I think.
No, Arbat is the warrior. Arbat is...
Intelligence advisor Arbat Elevat Astoni.
Oh, never mind.
Ooh,
Aloth
the
is the
expert has been
assassin.
dethroned.
Fuck, I'm no longer the expert. Now I'm
cue
gonna be
the
the
fanfare,
Yeerky
Brayden.
host. Okay, we're almost done this book. We're almost done.
Wait. The point I was trying to make is that I thought that they were going to say, like, Estrid's brother was a badass, and Estrid's brother was Elfangor, alienated at birth from...
Yeah, that would have been very
horny.
silly.
Do you know what I mean, though? Like, some sort of... Because in Star Wars, especially the early ones, they really did that a lot in a way that was both pivotal to the plot and also completely pointless for the plot.
Okay, so very end, Axe gives Estrid a cinnamon bun as a parting gift, and it's just like, nah, babe, I have to stay here. And yeah.
Flicks a cigarette. Yeah.
She and Gonrod just leave. The Animorphs and Axe they turn to human form, and they walk to go get food, except not the McDonald's, because Tobias had Gonrod burn that to the ground so they could get to the Yeerk pool. Cassie, because she's intuitive, she senses that Axe is in some Andalite pain, and she holds his hand while he cries invisibly in the dark.
Yeah.
Ah!
What was that?
It's fucking sad!
It's all right.
What a cuck.
I didn't cry. I didn't cry when I read it. I actually have no sympathy at all for that. I don't know. I guess I don't relate to it.
I just feel like, because it's so... This is the second time that Axe has found Andalites. The second time he's found a taste of home. And the second time that they've totally betrayed him. Also, did anybody else catch how many times Marco commented on the hot physique of those dude Andalites? He was always checking out Aloth and Arbat. Always.
They had sick bods, like respected brother.
Yeah, Marco was hot for that. He was hot for Andalite jocks.
Have you seen the covers featuring Axe? He's got like a 16-pack, dog, like all the way down to his horse balls.
Why does he need abdominal muscles that developed?
What? What do you mean need? I don't know.
Well, he's in the military, right? He's not like bodybuilding for a competition or anything.
It's because that's the only way they can pick stuff up. Surprising fact, Andalites don't have knees. He has to bend over and pull it up with his abs.
Oh, Jesus Christ almighty. Okay. Can we make fun of Cassie for a second also? Since we're on the topic of making fun of me.
Because she held Axe's hand while he cried in the dark?
No. This is like really near the beginning, and it really angered me in a way that I can't quite communicate in words. But when they were talking about the mission that the assassination team was sent here to do, this is before they know the truth. Cassie says revenge is pointless and immoral, and then begins to make no argument, well, maybe a bit of an argument, as to why they shouldn't kill Visser Three. Other than the fact that they might replace him with someone more competent, which, if we're being real, the Council of 13 seems smart enough to do that if they could.
This is still when they're doing the dupe.
Yeah, okay.
You know what? I'm going to stop mentioning that because, like, literally everything in this book could be hand-waved. We can have literally no discussion about character motivations in this book if I keep doing that. I am sorry.
It's a good point, too, actually. If that's true, then, I mean, yeah. It's kind of annoying, too. It's a bit of like, he was dreaming. Like that kind of thing.
The whole time. Yeah.
It's only cool in an Ocean's 11 kind of way where it, like, comes together in a sort of beautiful elegance.
In a way that you didn't even put together. Yeah.
But
in a way that was obvious in retrospect.
Exactly. Obvious in retrospect, whereas this is obvious not in retrospect. It's obvious while you're reading it.
Mm-hmm. Like Jake is literally hiding. They're still all hanging out, but like acting kind of bitchy towards each other. Like Cassie's like, Marco, save Rachel now. And Marco's like, I just want to read my comic books.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm still hanging out in your barn. And then she's like, where is Jake? And he's like, I'm hiding from Tom. He's mocking me. He's teasing me.
There's also the part, this is like kind of wild if it was a dupe, because remember after they break up and then Axe shakes Jake's hand and Jake cries? Didn't they say that? It was like a single tear falls down his cheek or something like that.
Yeah, it's like so anime, just the one tear. Like, what are you, a YouTuber apologizing?
But I mean, that's fucking selling it if it was all a dupe. Like, good for you.
No, I think because they wanted to show that the humans are kind of weak, right? Because that's what the Andalites assumed. But do it in like a believable way. So it's fucking heavy.
Like even thinking back to like, oh man, if I ever had to like pretend to not like some of the closest friends I ever made in like grade 9, I think I'd get pretty teary-eyed if like somebody told me, hey, you can't hang out with them for like 2 days. You need to tough up. That would actually be pretty hard, probably.
And then there's me, who's like, anyone's like, you need to act like we're never going to see each other again. And I would just be like, I'm so sad to never see you again.
I am so sad, Mark. I feel like I will never see you again.
Because I'm so sad. I never get to talk to you and have you call me Prince. Tell me about your sex life.
Sorry, I was not paying attention because I was trying to make sure that it does say that Jake cried. No, it just says his eyes were sad. Which, coming from Axe, he might have actually been crying. Who knows?
Could be like a defamiliarization of crying, yeah.
Eyes were raining.
Yeah, it is like wet outside.
I use that word a lot, defamiliarize, ever since Mikhail used it in an episode to describe how he thought, like, the metal tube went against his neck and then fired.
Mm-hmm.
He thought it was like defamiliarizing a gun. So thank you for that, Mikhail. This podcast has made me smarter. And particularly you have.
You're welcome.
Tessa, you have had the opposite effect.
Aw, thank you.
Let's get back to Andalites fucking Animorphs.
Woo! They totally kiss with chocolate all over their faces.
Should we do an OTP alert?
It wasn't chocolate.
Yeah.
OTP alert.
Okay, the obvious one, Axe and Estrid, which
Fresh meat, baby.
It seemed to be real, despite the potential dupe.
Actually flirting, yeah. Like, I'm actually kind of, like, I really like Estrid as a character. I thought she was really interesting and, like, kind of because Axe is kind of timid. We saw that earlier. Like, he's always been a bit more on the timid side. And Estrid is just like, yeah, I'll say fuck you to a war prince. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they should have, like, at least briefed her on how to act.
Right?
Well, I mean, they didn't brief themselves. This is like 100%. This is basically like deep cover, like Black Flag. This is a fucking Black Flag mission.
Yeah.
No briefing. Yeah. 100%. Like, these guys, if they were like caught and somebody official like caught them in outer space, they'd be saying like, they're fucking terrorists. They faked their deaths and ran away.
But also, I think Estrid was just so, like, smitten that Arbot thought she was talented and smart when nobody else did. And also, he's, like, a big hunky Andalite dude. Like, I don't think she asked any other questions.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm also fine with Axe, like, releasing some kind of steam that's probably building up in his pubescent body.
Maybe that's how Andalites do it. They touch each other's faces and just steam lifts off their furry little butts.
If we've learned anything from Elfangor and the girl, Lauren, not Lauren, the girl Andalite. Sorry, the woman Andalite who marries Dak. Aldrea. That the interspecies thing is not only fine, it seems to be like they prefer to do it that way almost. So I don't know. I feel like there's not a whole lot to talk about there because the book kind of goes over it, but the dupe part where now looking back it's like, okay, this was all fake obviously, but Marco slaps Rachel on the cheek like on each cheek and says wise up. At the time, okay, well, that's obviously incredibly rude, right? But even in the context of a joke, there's no way if Marco and Rachel actually liked each other that they would have done that.
Yeah, no, that little that flame died as soon as he smacked her.
I disagree.
I don't think they're kinky enough to like ask each other to do that.
It's not a thing about what? Not literally everything done in between two people has to be like, if I reach out my hand to shake the hand of someone I'm attracted to but not with, that's not like me like being, oh, please fucking crush it to establish our sexual tension. Like, not every single gesture is sexual.
Right, but what I'm saying is that even though everyone knows it's a dupe, whatever, it doesn't matter. Everyone knows it's a dupe. There's still boundaries of what you're willing to do. Like, let's say we were in the exact same situation, and in order to make it look like I think I disrespect Brayden, I like bring up some really heavy personal shit and throw it in his face. That's totally unacceptable, even under the context of a dupe.
Yeah, that is true.
I think that's how I interpreted it, was like he had so little respect for her that he did that, thinking that it would be fine because of the dupe, but I think they were actually fighting for real, at least partly.
I mean, what if they were just working off some unresolved tension from book 37 when Rachel was like, shut up, Marco, I'm in charge?
Why are you defending Rachel Co all of a sudden? Just to disagree with me because that's what you love doing?
I think that's really, I just want to throw a wrench in this plan. Like,
Jesus.
Hey, what up? More like, I don't want you to lose hope in this. I think because it's been it's been the flag you've been flying for 38 books. I don't want you to lose heart all of a sudden. Come on, Nikhil.
It's been waning. And you know what? I'm man enough to admit that I can change my mind based on evidence presented to me, so.
Well, I'm not man enough.
I don't think that Tobachel is better, though. Like, I'm never going to admit that.
They're so perfect.
No, okay, yeah, here we go. Yeah.
It's interesting to note, Axe mentions at the top, really briefly, he doesn't have that much respect for the Chi, which seems to come from sort of the same place as his, his weariness about the Ellimist the first time the Ellimist appears, which there's not much else to get into there, but I just thought it was interesting that that's the first time that's coming up.
Yeah. And in sort of the same vein of there's not much to talk about, I just want to mention it. The tail fighting thing when he was like, oh, she pulled off this move and it's in an Andalite alien language, and it means like 3-point strike or something. I was like, holy fuck, yes. Give me more of that. I want like a fucking Cimmerillion level like lore on Andalite tail fighting.
I would love that so much.
Visser Three pulled off a Dul Madul Avdidan, which is Andalite for swing.
Yeah, it's Andalite for one step forward. Next week, in our bi-weekly episode of The Speaking Tree, we'll be talking about how we would have gotten Axe to infiltrate the assassination team better, more effectively, how we would use morphing to show an alien the best Earth food, as well as how would we use a Northern Harrier for a Harrier morph for purely personal reasons, not literally.
Just a whole bird. Just how would you use a whole bird for personal reasons?
Just constantly walk around with a falconry glove, just like watching out for like thieves.
Just in case.
I mean, that would be dope, but...
You can find more of our stuff on our podcast page at collectivelegacy.org or on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, or Facebook.
Do we still have a Tumblr? Is that still a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Tumblr hasn't died yet.
Have we not been deleted for all of our, like, female-presenting nipple content?
No, the difference between Dork-Bajir and Dork-Bajir nipples is only for Dork-Bajir to know, so Tumblr software didn't flag us.
And Brayden, Tessa has not been posting the pictures that you keep telling her. You just keep emailing her and telling her to put on the Tumblr.
Those are just on a private folder on my computer.
For later.
Those are just for me.
Just for Tessa to know.
I keep on sending those pictures of dog nipples and saying, like, is this an Animorph? Remember to subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, or else I'll take a picture of this stupid farming joke that's been looking me in the eye on this fucking poster for like the past hour and a half and send it to the Discord, and you'll all have to suffer with me.
Wait, what is the joke?
It's two, like, obviously, like, toddlers, like, barely not walking babies, and they're dressed up in, like, t-shirts and, like, pretty big boots and overalls and hats, and one of them is looking at the other, and the dialogue is, "You been farming long."
Wow, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's really terrible. You can show your support for our show at our Patreon page, patreon.com/DORKBAJIR. And I'd like to just point out that lately I've been trying to save the rather lengthy songs that sometimes Tessa and Brayden sing on recordings that I inevitably have to cut out because they just like drown out everything else. But I haven't deleted them. So I've started to stockpile them and actually started posting them as Patreon benefits. So if you're interested in hearing Brayden and Tessa sing nothing related to Animorphs, but just songs in general, subscribe.
We offer special bonuses for patrons, like access to our Discord server, where I post shitty wallpaper that my aunt's boyfriend has. Animorphs essays written by us, where I talk about dolphins and science fiction, and much more, including songs.
And another special thing that our patrons get is the Dork-Bajir level or higher ones. This extra is for you. We give you a little Animorph style title, and it's outro, not extra. Anyway, let's not think about that. Let's instead think about thanking...
I'd like to thank Elamist, the tailfighting 3-point strike.
Anyanka, doing the kissing.
Greg, Della Pasta, beans.
Michael Armenta, the pointless revenge.
Steam driven, that old ass alien ship.
Nick, how about a briefcase?
Anne-Marie Ellis, the old switcheroo.
Martha Urquhart, that's not where rabbits hide.
Shanna, that one lady who shoved dead rabbits up her hooch.
Spencer, the not quite as much of a red pillar as Axe is in this one.
Zachary Vaudo, morphing a grackle, because that's something Axe did in this book.
Mariah Wamby, more like Axe MGTOW. Am I right? No.
I don't get it.
Yes. Actually, yes, that does kind of work at the end there.
Okay. Andrew Vila, the brother who's really a fighting badass. For the Fanimorphs, my name is Mikhail, the host. No, I couldn't think of something funny.
I'm Tessa. I was not discharged from the army for cowardice.
And I'm Braden, and I was discharged for the army for stealing organs, specifically prostates.
Okay. And this has been Animorphs, the Dork-Bajir
Prostate Chronicles.
Oh, there's got to be a good testicle prostate.
Okay, how about the Testimorphs? The Testimorphs. The Dork Prostate Chronicles.
How about Testimorphs, the Flick the Bean Chronicles?
Beanamorphs, the Jilling Off Chronicles.
What do you want to eat right now?
Jinx. I'm Mitch.
And I'm Sophie. And this is
We Watch Food,
a podcast all about the food we like to watch.
We'll talk all about the best, the craziest, and the tastiest TV, movies, and YouTube channels.
Not to mention trendy food fads and sumptuous food trivia.
Plus, we end every episode with a recipe from one of us.
So join us every Saturday for a new episode and a new insight into what makes us watch so much food.
You can find us at collectivelegacy.org, as well as a bunch of other awesome podcasts.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at We Watch Food.
And on Twitter at We Watch Food Pod. So I've been Mitch.
I'm Sophie.
Bye-bye.
Bye!
Brought to you by
Collective Legacy.
a podcast network.